Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. I'm Rathnakumar. I'm a blogger, product manager, and an entrepreneur. Before we start the video, I'm sorry for not having a video done in the last couple of weeks. I was actually waiting for the US elections to get over so I can make the next video, but looking at the scenario, I don't think it's getting over anytime soon. So I thought let's just keep those things as let's keep all the sentiments away and start with the video. So what are we going to look at today? Before we started the video, I was thinking about a lot of topics, but then I froze on something which is pretty interesting. People who are close to me always know I love cleaning. That's exactly what we're going to look at today. On a monthly basis, I always do a declutter to myself and my own ecosystem so it looks clean and tidy, purely because I tend to collect a few things. I'm into antiques, I collect pins. There are a lot of things that I do, so sometimes it really gets messy and cluttered. And on a monthly basis, I make sure that I declutter things. And today we're going to look at the top 5 things that I do when it comes to decluttering, and that's something that could be useful for anybody who wants to declutter themselves and move to become a minimalist. Item number 1: expired food, medicine, and personal hygiene things. I think this is something that I had found common in a lot of places, not just in my own place, but even when I visit people's places, it is always common that we always tend to carry a lot of medicines that are expired, food that are expired, and personal hygiene things that are expired, because they're not something we look at on a daily basis or regular basis, so they tend to just fade away. I think if you're somebody who wants to declutter your own ecosystem, then this is exactly where you'll have to start with. That just make sure that there's no medicine, food supplies, or personal hygiene things that are expired and you're still carrying around them. And because it's not only bad from an environment perspective, but it's also not something it could turn out to be terrible if you just use it, or you could have a food poisoning. So it is always good. It is always good if you declutter from these things. So to start with, number 1 is declutter all the expired medicine, food supply, and personal hygiene stuffs. Item number 2: dresses we don't wear anymore. I think this is a common thing that could happen to anybody. Look at me, I don't wear much colors. I wear black, blue, and gray. I think these are my 3 comfort colors. I don't think I go beyond these 3 most days. But the problem is I tend to buy a lot of them in this. And it is also a common fact or common thing around a lot of people that we tend to carry a lot of dresses which we don't wear on a regular basis. And they just keep, clogging our wardrobe space. So it is always good that you go back there and see what you really wear on a regular basis and things that don't really add much value, and better to just give it to a Goodwill or some other place where it would actually mean something to people who would buy, rather than just taking shelf space in your own wardrobe. So that's the second thing to let go of. Do not carry dresses that we don't wear on a regular basis. Item number 3: old gadgets. I think I'm the best guy to speak about this because I'm into gadgets a lot. I buy a lot of gadgets, especially when it comes to Apple. I think I almost covered the whole ecosystem. But the problem is we don't let go of things when things get phased out. Well, I still have my iPhone 10, I still have my iPhone 8, I still have my iPhone 6. That's the problem. Where when we upgrade gadgets, we don't let go of the old ones that we have. We still tend to have them. It doesn't add value to us at all. It doesn't add any more. It doesn't become relevant to us at all. But still, we tend to carry them a lot. And also, the next phase of that is the wires that I carry, or the accessories that go along with the gadgets that we carry. That's another problem. I think if you want to declutter yourself, that's another good place to even start with. Go to your old electronics and see, do they really add value to us, value to me anymore or not. If not, just part away from them rather than having a personal emotional connect with them, because they don't add value to us anymore. So if you're into decluttering, that's the next thing to do. Declutter yourself from any of the old gadgets that you have and move on. Item 4, luggages and boxes. I don't know how many people have this habit, but I tend to have this habit a lot. Whenever I buy something which comes on a nice box, I tend to have the boxes with me. I don't know why I do that. I justify myself to people saying, oh, I'm going to do something with those boxes. I'm going to upcycle the box, something or the other. But the problem is, I don't have enough time to do them, but it tends to get piled up, piled up, piled up. But these days I make sure that I don't do that, especially after I want to follow, I wanted to start following minimalism. I make sure that I go back on to my storage space, spend some time over the weekends, declutter things from there and saying, okay, I'm not going to use it for sure. Let's just part away from that. I think that's the next thing to do. If you're somebody like me, please do stay away from those boxes. They don't really add any value to us. Item number 5, and I kept it for the last because I personally get connected a lot with that, so I kept it at the last, which is books that we had already read and unwanted books. You know, that's has been the biggest obstacle for me when it comes to decluttering my workspace or any personal space for that matter, because decluttering or staying away from books that I had bought has been really difficult for me, because not just because we invest a lot of money in it, but it's a lot of personal connect. You know, when you read a book of about 500 600 pages, you tend to be like, oh, I read this book, it gives me some nostalgic effect, or we want to read it again, it's a nice book. But the problem is, especially for people like me who read a lot, we really don't find enough time to go back to a book which we had already read. And let's say you read a crime thriller, I don't think it adds any value when you want to read it the next, second time. So that's another thing to stay away from. If you're somebody who reads a lot or buys a book which you finish reading, it's good if you just donate it to a close by library or a Goodwill, because people who would come there would actually read, value it more rather than it sitting on your desk. But that's also one of the biggest emotional barrier I had to go past when I want to follow minimalism and want to declutter myself. So that's the last point I have. Declutter all the unwanted books and books that you had already finished reading which you're not going to read again. So those are the 5 items I make sure that I declutter on a monthly basis to make sure my ecosystem is tidy. And if you think I have missed something, please do drop them in the comments. I'll definitely look at it, and please do give a shot at it, because keeping, decluttering yourself and keeping the place minimalistic not only helps you from a bird's eye view where people will have a better impression about the place, but it also helps you personally, because it helps you to focus on things better. It's a personal experience. When I keep my space neat, I always feel it's easy for me to concentrate when I'm doing anything, not just work. It could be anything. It'll help me to concentrate things much better when things are spaced out, things are neat, and when I know where I kept what. So please do give a shot at decluttering things and keep me posted about how it's working for you. Thanks for watching this video. Please do subscribe to this channel. It means a lot to me. Until I see you in my next video, have a great day.